Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we're digging into all the material you sent us about one specific vehicle, the Rivian R1S 2026.
That's right. People are calling it the electric adventure giant.
Yeah, it's this big seven-seater SUV, and it's trying to be, well, both super rugged and luxurious at the same time.
And our mission here, it's pretty focused. We're going straight to the core findings in those sources, really zeroing in on the, let's say, the big pluses.
Yeah.
And just as importantly, the key drawbacks, getting that balanced view. Because in the EV world right now, especially this competitive segment, understanding the trade-offs is, well, it's everything. The downsides can sometimes tell you more than the flashy specs.
Okay, yeah, let's get into it then. And you mentioned flashy specs. We kind of have to start with the power because Rivian isn't exactly shy here.
Not at all.
This new quad motor setup, it's pretty wild. Over 1,000 horsepower. I think the source said 1,025.
That's the number, yeah.
Which lets this, huge SUV hit 100 kilometers an hour in something like 2.8 seconds. Which is, I mean, honestly, who really needs a seven-seater that quick? What's the cost of that?
It is fascinating, isn't it? Because that extreme performance, it's actually paired with really impressive range figures, too.
Yeah.
The sources are pointing to the max pack battery option, getting you an estimated 410 miles. That's, what, about 660 kilometers? Yeah, that really puts it up there, top of its class. And crucially for drivers, they've made the switch to the NACS port.
Ah, the Tesla plug.
Exactly. So much easier access to that huge supercharger network. That's a big practical win.
Okay, so power and range are sorted. But shifting focus a bit, it really does seem to live up to the adventure tag. We're talking serious off-road chops here.
Definitely. The adaptive air suspension is, well, it's quite something. It'll lift the R1S up to nearly 15 inches of ground clearance. 14.9, I believe.
That's a lot, enough to handle pretty much anything you'd reasonably throw at it off-road, right?
Yeah.
Outside of maybe dedicated rock crawling.
For sure. And then there are the practical touches, like that really deep front, the front trunk, about 10 cubic feet there.
Always useful.
And then fold the seats down, and you've got, 91 cubic feet of cargo space max? Plus, it's got that IHS top safety pick plus rating, which sort of reinforces that feeling of it being, well, solid.
Built like a tank, basically.
Precisely. And, speaking of built like a tank, that brings us neatly to the other side of the coin, the trade-offs. Because the big one, the physics you can't ignore, is the R1S's weight.
Yeah, over 3 tons, right?
Over 3 tons. And that's the fundamental tension, isn't it? That mass inevitably affects your energy efficiency, how far you go per kilowatt hour. And practically speaking, it means you'll go through tires faster than you would in a lighter EV. Extreme capability just comes with extreme weight.
And then there's the experience inside. The cabin, Rivian's gone for that minimalist look, which looks clean, but
almost everything runs through that massive center screen.
Yeah.
The 15.6-inch one.
Everything. Climate, music, even like adjusting the wing mirrors. You're tapping and swiping for basically everything.
And reviewers do consistently mention that.
Yeah.
That it can be distracting while driving.
Yeah. And the really big one for a lot of drivers today, the elephant in the room, still no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto.
That continues to be a major sticking point for many, yeah. It forces you into their native system entirely.
Which then raises these sort of practical ownership questions, especially if you're looking at this outside North America.
Exactly. So thinking about regions like, say, the GCC markets, the sources highlight the challenge there, a very limited official dealer and service network.
Right. So if something goes wrong, warranty claims, getting parts, maintenance, it gets complicated and probably expensive.
Yeah, it certainly can. That lack of infrastructure is a real hurdle. And one more thing on the driving field, despite that really advanced air suspension we mentioned,
yeah,
some owners do report finding the ride a bit. Bouncy is the word used sometimes, particularly in certain drive modes. So it's not universally smooth, apparently.
Okay. So pulling all this together from the sources, what's the final picture?
The R1S 2026 really emerges as a vehicle of, let's call them extremes. It's this really unique, quite compelling mix of, high-end luxury features, that hypercar-like acceleration, and genuinely capable off-road ability.
So it's definitely carving its own niche.
It is. It sets itself up as a really strong challenger against vehicles like the Tesla Model X and maybe upcoming ones like the Lucid Gravity.
Okay, so here's the final thought we kind of want to leave you, the listener, with, tying these extremes together, is having this 3-ton, 1,000-horsepower adventure machine ultimately worth the trade-offs, particularly in things like The lack of CarPlay or Android Auto basic digital convenience for many, and just the inherent inefficiency that comes with such a heavy, powerful, focused vehicle.
What does that balance tell you about your own priorities when you think about the future of electric adventure and exploration? Something to consider.